Excellencies, Delegate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 16th Asia Media Summit 2019, Siem Reap Province, Cambodia. My name is Pang Chom Nam. I will be the MC for the rest of the sessions today. And today, there are 4 of 8 plenary sessions which will happen respectively. And the first session, it is about how we can adapt to digital revolution. So now, I would like to request His Excellency Mr. Meas Sophorn, Undersecretary of State of the Ministry of Information of the Kingdom of Cambodia, to come on the stage as moderator of this session.
Good morning, Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to the first plenary session of the Asia Media Summit, which will be discussed on how can we adapt to digital revolution. My name is Sophorn. I am Undersecretary of State of the Ministry of Information. It is my great pleasure to participate in the great event with you all today. Now, I would like to invite our honorable speakers to come to the stage. First, His Excellency Dr. Khieu Kanyarit, Minister for Information of Cambodia. He used to be the spokesperson of the royal government of Cambodia, and he also served as the chief editor for nearly 30 years. Please come to the stage. Second, I would like to invite His Excellency Yu Pei-min, the Union Minister for Information, Myanmar. He used to be a general practitioner and also served as the Vice Chairman of Myanmar Press Council. He also has published over 40 books of fiction and non-fiction as well. Please come to the stage. And third, I would like to invite His Excellency Mohammed Hassan Mahmood, the former the Information Minister of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. He was the former Minister of Environment and Forest and was also the General Secretary of Belgium chapter of Awani League from 1995 to 2001. And fourth, I would like to invite His Excellency Joseph Roberto Martin Adanas, the Secretary of Presidential Communication Operations. He had 20 years experience of broadcasting and communication management. He was conferred the Distinguished Alumni Award by the Federation University of Australia. And fifth, I would like to invite His Excellency Son Sat-ku, the Standing Commissioner, Korean Communication Commission. He used to work as the Secretary and Advisor of the National Assembly. He was also an expert member of Broadcasting and Telecommunication under the Prime Minister Office in 2006. Last but not least, I would like to invite His Excellency Leila Pule Rimoni Ayafas, the Vice Minister of Communication and Information Technology. He has become a member of Parliament since 2006. He also served the Chief Executive for Samoa Airport Authority. Please welcome our honorable speaker, please. Before we start our session, I would like to inform the audience that there are 2 steps of the session. The step 1 is the presentation from our honorable speakers, and the last step is to open the floor for the audience. But I also would like to remind you all that His Excellency Son Sat-ku, he will answer your question in Korean. So please kindly use the headset to get the translation. Okay, and now, with further ado, I would firstly like to invite His Excellency Dr. Khieu Kajret, Minister for Information of the Kingdom of Cambodia, to give the short presentation. Please, the floor is yours, Excellency.
Hello. Good morning, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to start with this first plenary session about how we cope with the technological or digital revolution. My presentation would be just be short, and what I want to say, just some experience that we can make here in Cambodia to cope with all this digital revolution or transformation. First of all, there are two stories that I want to talk about. One, if you remember well, that in 2006, during the American presidential campaign, 95% of the press were against Donald Trump. Usually when you have more than 95% of the press against you, you never have a chance to win the election. But you can see that Donald Trump won the election. The second remark is about the story of the complaint of the professional photography against one company that instead to use the professional photographer, they use the name of Beckham's son to launch his product on Instagram. And get a lot of success, but a lot complaint of a professional photographer. What's the lesson we can learn from these two remarks? One, the lesson one, that the press has declined in its credibility. Two, also the social status of the journalist is also in decline. Third, the emergence of social media and netizen. And this phenomenon is not only in the West. In Cambodia also we are facing this kind of problem, because now most of our traditional media lose money. TV, print press, radio. Because now some of advertisers, they turn on social media to advertise their product, because they're very cheap, flexible, and very effective, because each account, each social media, each platform is intended to a very specific target. This is a very main problem in Cambodia, and but after nearly 1 year of fighting in Cambodia, we could find some what called response to this situation. What is the response? For the print media and the radio, instead of fighting against social media, instead of fighting this technological revolution, they will use it as complement. The radio and print media use also social media platform to fight against this we used to call a non-state player. Why we call it non-state player? Because before, in the 20th century, only the state or a big organization can speak to a large audience, can speak to millions of people. But with the emergence of the social media, everybody become a player. That's why I call non-state player. And that's why to fight it, most of the radio and print media in Cambodia had to adopt, besides their traditional way of broadcasting or dissemination and news, they use this also to broadcast live news, or everything that is what can attract or can keep the audience. And it's true, and now it's many traditional media, mostly print press and radio, they can survive it. They can survive it. Because also in Cambodia, because a lot of fake news, because since this morning everybody talk about fake news. But sometimes we have a good point. There's the line, a silver line is when you have a lot of fake news. First, the people begin to believe in all this fake news. But when all everything comes, the fake news is everywhere. People become suspicious. They learn how to deal with information. And this is what we call, they begin to acquire what they call media literacy. When they have some news, now in Cambodia, the people they take note of the news, but after that they check it again with the website or the account of many radio and TV. Because Cambodia, the people know that the radio, print press, all of them be a responsibility before the law. That's why all the news made by the media, traditional media, have more responsibility. And that kind sometimes we help a lot. Sometimes all these fake news have bring up the silver lining to the authority, to the society. But for the TV, to fight with this new player, the TV have to use different strategy. It means that they have to try to find what you call live broadcasting on what is the most interesting. News reporting, or sport, they organize concert, or soap opera. This way they can make it, they can survive the transformation of technology in this 21st century. This is the experience of Cambodia, and I hope that maybe we could find another way, but this in Cambodia, what we have, what we cope with the challenges for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Dr. Kieu Kanyarit, for your presentation and sharing the good practices between the translational and modern technology system of broadcasting in Cambodia to our audience. And next, I would like to invite His Excellency Dr. Yu Pi Min to give the presentation. So you can come to the podium, please.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our hosts. His Excellency Mr. Samdech Hun Sen, the Honorable Prime Minister of Cambodia, His Excellency Minister Dr. Kieu Kanyarit, and the Ministry of Information of the Kingdom of Cambodia, and the President and senior officials from AIBD for organizing this great event and for inviting us to this. It's a great honor for me to be here with you to participate in discussing the various aspects of digital revolution, which is one of the most intriguing subjects of the present time. In fact, I would rather listen to other people than myself talking. I would like to listen to the presentations and discussions of experts from digitally advanced countries who have rich experience and deep knowledge on the various aspects of this new phenomenon, which is going to have tremendous impact on our societies. And I would like to learn more about the new things that emerge during these few years, the new technologies, new devices, and new ways of doing things, and the positive and negative effects caused by them on the society. And most importantly, I want to get ideas about how we can gather the most of the economic and social benefits which will derive from this revolution while mitigating its negative effects. But as I can't just take from others only, I will also have to give back something on my part. So let me speak a little about how we can adapt to digital revolution. The topic says how we, but for me, the we has a rather wide scope, like representing all of us present here or all our countries, like that. And I don't have the capacity to speak on behalf of all, so please allow me to replace the we with the word Myanmar, because it will be much better suited to me. So my topic will be how Myanmar can adapt to digital revolution, or rather, how digital revolution is transforming and will transform Myanmar, or how Myanmar is accommodating or adjusting itself to digital revolution, like that. So it is about Myanmar's digitalization. We have noticed the signs of digital revolution in Myanmar only 5 or 6 years ago. The most prominent manifestation of the arrival of digital revolution is the instantaneous spread of the use of social media, which in our case is Facebook. Myanmar people use other social media platforms also, but Facebook clearly dominates the field. According to a recent report, it is said that there are about 5 million monthly active Facebook users in Myanmar in 2015, which increased to around 10 million in 2016. And then it increased to about 21 million, which is about 40% of our population of 54 million in 2019. So this significant rise in the number of social media users and hence the internet users in the last few years is caused by the telecommunications reform formulated in 2013, which opened up the telecommunications market to both domestic and foreign investors, with the result that mobile penetration increases from 13% in 2012 to about 120% in 2019. The use of mobile phones and hence the social media empowers individual peoples, and the exercise of the freedom of expression rapidly increases. At the same time, abuses of freedom also flourish. Social media is quite valuable as a source of information for the people, but it also becomes a breeding ground for rumors, fake news, and disinformation. I will not go into further details about the negative effects of the social media because it is a well-known fact. I want to mention something positive about it. Most of the people who use social media in our society are not the ones who usually use to express their feelings and opinions publicly. It is mainly because freedom of expression has been severely restricted in Myanmar for decades. Now that they have regained their political rights, they can disclose whatever is in their hearts and minds quite freely. And at this most opportune moment, social media comes in to be used readily as a very effective means and tools to disseminate their views widely. The people communicate with their friends and relatives, speak to their neighbors, express anger over what the municipal has done and for things not done yet, and criticize the politicians and the government. I believe this is genuine benefit the people gain from digital revolution. Another positive thing I notice is that the enthusiastic users of social media mostly are not regular readers or writers. They are not the ones who usually learn by reading books. Now that they get the habit of listening to what the other people say and then spread the news and opinions they received to others by adding their own remarks, I believe that they are in some ways getting practice to improve themselves by the use of social media. Another positive view I do have with respect to the effects of social media is that it helps people to become digital literates in a much easier way because it assists as a very persuasive learning tool. Another thing that happens in our society after the appearance of the social media is online shopping. Since the last few years, young people who have little more knowledge about mobile banking and online marketing started online businesses, selling everything from food to furniture. Advertisements of digital marketing agencies and training courses are seen among merchandises advertised by online stores. Most of the buyers are also younger people, and they seem to be able to adapt with digital revolution quite comfortably. These are some visible signs of Myanmar people embracing digital revolution. Now, let's see what the Myanmar government's reactions are with respect to the digital revolution. Policymakers in Myanmar, although most of them are not young people, recognize the importance of information and communications technology and see that it is necessary for us to catch up with the new advances in these areas if our country is to develop. Myanmar government has been trying to introduce an e-government system for some time. A master plan was drawn in 2016, and in January last year, an e-government steering committee, together with a working committee and 8 subcommittees were formed. But we have to admit that these are still in the preparatory stage and not active right now. The government has also formed a digital economy development committee with the intention of performing the tasks of effective and successful implementation of national economic policies. It aims to provide support for the successful emergence of digital economy in the country. According to the committees, Myanmar Digital Economy Roadmap, sweeping changes will be made to upgrade Myanmar's economic infrastructures. And for that purpose, they will seek advice from leading technological companies and also invite international investment. The digital economy roadmap is firmly allied with the 12-point economic policy of Myanmar, Myanmar e-governance master plan, Myanmar rapid e-trade readiness assessment, and Myanmar sustainable development plan. The tasks in the roadmap are going to be implemented by focal ministries with their respective fields in cooperation with the private sector. So far, changes have been seen in some departments under the Ministry of Planning and Finance. For example, Internal Revenue Department has promoted the electronic payment system, and Myanmar Customs Department has put into practice the Myanmar automated cargo clearance system. And this year, the ministry has organized to form a digital financial services working group with the aim to support the IT sector. The members of the group are from various sectors such as Central Bank of Myanmar, Financial Regulatory Department, Myanmar Bank Association, Myanmar Insurance, Myanmar Microfinance Association, fintech companies, mobile service providers, and so on. And the Central Bank of Myanmar itself is implementing an electronic retail payment system in cooperation with World Bank and JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency. These are some of the things Myanmar government is doing. I believe that these things will clearly show Myanmar's eagerness to adapt to digital revolution. But we also know that eagerness alone cannot make things happen. To be able to fully adapt to digital revolution and to become one day a digital nation with digital citizens, we will have a long way to go. We need digital infrastructures and digitally capable people. We need capital investment and technological education. We have some of these things, but they are far from sufficient to fulfill these things. Definitely require time and effort and coordination and cooperation between government and businesses and citizens. Cooperation between countries, especially between friendly nations, will also help. That's why I came here to attend this meeting. I hope that this meeting will provide us with valuable information, knowledge, and good advices, which we can profitably use at home. And in that way, we can fully adapt to digital revolution. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, His Excellency U.P. Min, for your comprehensive presentation in terms of the Myanmar context that the government of the Myanmar try to embrace the maximize of the digitalized revolution in promoting the economy of Myanmar and social awareness in Myanmar as well. Thank you. And next, I would like to invite His Excellency Joseph Roberto Martin Adana to give a presentation on the podium, please.
To His Excellency Prime Minister Hun Sen, to my dear friend, Minister of Information, Dr. Q. Kanhari, to the AIBD President, Mr. Fayaz Shehryar, my fellow ministers, deputy ministers, media executives, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me begin with the origin of two words. That presently confront us, both of which come from ancient Greek etymology. The first word is technology, from the words techno, meaning a practical skill, a craft, an art, and logia, or logia, meaning a study. In brief, the practical application of a specific knowledge. The second word is technological, which means increase in the productivity of machines and thereby eliminating manual intervention. By these words, in their original compositions, the new technologies, the digital trends or transformations, and the wide assortment of technological advancements in broadcast and print media are the instruments through which our minds transmit our thoughts, our feelings, our ideas, even our dreams, including every cerebral or emotional element that can be conceived and articulated by any functioning brain. Like the Greek word cybernetica, it is the human mind controlling the machine that transmits the thoughts through the airwaves. Technological advancements, therefore, serve as tools for communication and information dissemination. Because of the speed, the clarity, the algorithmic convergence of simultaneous events, the simulcasts of occurrences, the instantaneous reportage as the coverage is happening, the facilities for recording, editing, reproduction, and storage, and several other sophisticated applications that are already possible. Every day there are new discoveries, new systems, new methods that make transmittal at the tip of one's finger and quite dexterously. All of these serve the media, specifically the broadcast industry, with immense facility, saving time and even effort in both administration and management. We all aspire for a condition where the facility and ease of broadcasting and printing would be done with electronic comfort by machines that would perform the work of consolidating a variety of reports, organizing sequential data, supplying research materials, and most importantly, transmitting the finished product instantaneously to as large an audience as possible. Powerful and wealthier countries already enjoy this advantage. But there is a common threshold for both the advantaged and the disadvantaged media networks, and this is the use of words. Words are the lifeblood of the World Wide Web technology. Words are the essence of the condition and the spirit that relates to all humankind. Words move, institute changes, create revolutions, seek peace, provide healing, share comfort, and sadly, even words cause wars. Words make us aspire for the higher ground of happiness. Beyond technology and all its continuing improvements, our words are basically the fundamental ground of anything and everything that operates technology. Competition lies in the capability to acquire and to own the latest and most advanced of these technological tools. Would developing economies of developing countries have the logistics to move into the high-end platforms of the more advanced nations? This is where cooperative ventures and partnerships become the best possible manner by which the sharing of technology among nations of our region can achieve an ideal regional landscape of government to government synchronicity. At best, all our peoples would be served and elevated to an understanding of each country's life, culture, politics, economics, and the binding of the spirit of ASEAN. We should not be apprehensive about the adaptation to new technologies. Technology, as I have defined at the start of this message, is simply the application of a knowledge, and that knowledge comes from each of our minds. Therefore, it is the story, the narrative, the content of the report that we write and we speak. Our words express all that is factually significant, historic, and relevant to lives within our home countries and that of our neighbor or neighbors. Let me repeat, content is primordial, be it for news or for entertainment. Content for news is based on the truth, on the facts that are verified, on the data that is confirmed. News cannot be manufactured nor fabricated. It simply covers the what, where, who, and the how, and let there be no complications regarding these. The whys, or the reason behind the reports, are best left to the opinion writers, who ought to have the wisdom and experience for making commentaries in different newspapers. Entertainment, on the other hand, is based on the creativity of the imagination. Drama, comedy, or mixture of both revolve around every conceivable facet of life. Nonetheless, a moral ground must be at its base as a foundation of values, either traditional or contemporary. The market is the spectator, the listener, the people. The market is everyone in their living rooms, in the workplace, in the villages, at the political forums, or within the corridors corridors of power. We address them in both the language of understanding and of eloquence. We reach out to them with a sincerity of professional journalism. We give them the respect and the honor that they deserve. Our markets grow as our population likewise grows. And in the free market economy and the commonality of our humanity, there should be fair competition for these markets. Let me share one of the most significant executive orders signed by our President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And this is the Freedom of Information Order, which covers the public's accessibility to the records of government's executive department. Every program and expenditure of the executive branch can be looked into by every citizen, with the exception of national security and highly classified intelligence. This has brought about the condition of a well-informed citizenry. In tandem with this is the Media Security Order that guarantees not only security in the practice of our profession or the profession of media workers, but also the immediate medical and hospital assistance for urgent cases. We are most willing to share the methodology of these government policies. New technologies will always be advancing well beyond our capabilities to decipher the increased complex operations of the zeros and the ones of the computers. The state-of-the-art instruments we use for communication and information dissemination may be transforming the matter and the manner of transmittal. But it is only you, yes, it is only you and I, all of us, who can undertake the transformation of our lives. We have come to this meeting with a little amount of anxiety and apprehension at the magnitude of the scientific breakthroughs, progress before us. Let us leave this conference with a position of strength in the power of the individual and collective minds over the instruments we use to achieve the ideals of peace and understanding among the nations of our region and the world as we move beyond technology. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Jose, for your comprehensive presentation to the audience. And next, I would like to invite His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Hassan Mahmood to give the presentation. The floor is yours.
Good morning to you all. First of all, I want to register my thanks to Prime Minister Hun Sen of Cambodia and Information Minister of Cambodia, Dr. Q, for hosting this event and inviting us all. And my fellow ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The new media and the digital technology indeed has changed our life. If we think just 10 years back or 15 years back, how was our life of each person, whether he is young, whether he is old, each person's life has been changed for the last 10 years. Because of the exponential growth of new media and digital technology. It has created a lot of scope for nation states, for the society, and for the individuals. And it has created a lot of challenges for the countries, for the societies, and for the individuals as well. First of all, I want to just highlight the scenario of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a country of almost more than 165 million population, close to 170 million population. And Bangladesh is the most densely populated country of the world. In 1 square kilometer, 1,100 people in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, 10 years back, we are in the government for the last 10 and a half years in Bangladesh. In 2008, in the election that was held in December 2008, 28th December in 2008, we gave two slogans to the people that we shall make Bangladesh a digital Bangladesh. And at the time, many people did not understand what is digital Bangladesh. Many followers and supporters of our party did not understand what it meant, digital Bangladesh. Today, digital Bangladesh is no more dream, but it's reality. How? Because in Bangladesh, we have 165 million population and mobile phone user 150 million. And in Bangladesh, 10 years back, internet user was 40 million, and today internet user is 95 million. And in Bangladesh, now there are remote islands. I remember the day back in 2010, me and Helen Clark, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand and the then administrator of UNDP, went together to a remote island. The name of the island is Chorkukrimukri, to inaugurate the digital center there. And that island is completely separated from the mainland and comparatively very, how I would say, less developed area, because there was no electricity at the time, no connection of national grid there. And in the government of Bangladesh, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, daughter of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, she established digital centers in each union in Bangladesh. Now there are thousands of digital centers all over the country in Bangladesh. So one of those digital centers was at Chorkukrimukri. Me and Helen Clark went together to inaugurate that. And there was no electricity, but with the help of solar panels, me and Helen Clark talked to the Prime Minister through video conference. While I was coming back through helicopter to the capital with Helen Clark, she was saying to me that in New York even she did not get, sometimes she does not get, that much good resolution in video conference. And today in Bangladesh, what is happening, a farmer in the field, he takes a photograph, he takes a photograph of the insect and send it to the agriculture officer 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer far from the field, and ask which medicine he would use for this insect. And telemedicine system, many other things. So digital Bangladesh is no more a dream in Bangladesh, it's reality in Bangladesh. And it has created a lot of transparency in the governance system, a lot of transparency. And again, the revolution in the social media. I was listening to the speech of the Minister of Myanmar. The same has happened in Bangladesh. Today in Bangladesh, more than 90 million people use social media. And in Bangladesh, thousands of online portals, few thousands of online portals are active in Bangladesh. What was absent 10 years back, only handful number of online portals. So it has created a lot of a scope in all over the world, new media and the digital technology. But, I mean, there are some challenges. So I think the main objective of this talk to discuss what are the challenges and what are the demerits and how we can cope with the digital media and new media. This is I think, this should be the outcome of the discussion. So first I want to highlight what are the challenges. First challenge, the digital technology requires continuous innovation and readiness to upgrade. Upgradation and maintenance are more expensive than the initial adoption. Second, they create demand for highly skilled workforce who draw handsome rewards. On the other hand, low-skilled workers are poorly paid, which create inequality within society. Third, increased use of AI and robotic increases efficiency and precision in production, but replace human labor. Densely populated countries like Bangladesh and other densely populated countries should ponder this aspect before incorporating such technologies. Fourth, digital technologies have tremendously enhanced the surveillance capacity of the nation state and of individuals. For example, now I'm talking here. 10 years back, now if my speech is in the social media live, then people in Bangladesh can watch it. And I'm not only Information Minister of Bangladesh, I'm also the Publicity Secretary of our party, ruling party, and alternate spokesperson of the party. Whenever I speak in any event in Dhaka or anywhere in Bangladesh, people just call me. Immediate after when I'm coming out from the meeting, people calls me, you are at that place. How they notice? Because they notice through the social media. This is the scenario everywhere in the world. So I think I've got a notice to short my speech. Within 3 minutes it will be difficult, but I shall try to limit my speech. So the new media and the digital technology has enhanced the surveillance capacity of the nation state and of the individual persons. And that has jeopardized the privacy of individual persons also. These are the challenge. Fifth, they have created communication network which are borderless and the capacity, whenever you do anything, it goes beyond your border. You cannot forbid it. Sixth, digital technology created new risk and vulnerability for citizens, institutions, and the state subject to cybercrime and cyber terrorism, which can be transboundary effect. Seventh, in discussion related to digital technologies, one thing is conspicuously missing, that is digital junk. Digital junk is a reality now, and we need to deal with that. Finally, the thing is that in digital technology, the West is in the driving seat. So they control all the digital technology and the social media and everything. And we are at the receiving end. So how we would cope with the digital technology and with the new media? This is a challenge, especially for the Asian states. So I would limit my speech because the moderator has given me the notice and looking at me. So today, what I would say, the impact of social media on the population, there are many good impacts, and it has brought transparency in the governance system. It has created a lot of scope, and online marketing and etc., a lot of scope. The minister from Myanmar said many commodities. In Bangladesh, also the cattle are sold during the festivities online. It has created a lot of scope, but a lot of challenges. Our children and our teenagers are using the social media through the new digital technology, and that has created a lot of negative impact on our society. So this is a challenge to think, and not only this is a challenge in Bangladesh, this is a challenge all over the world. And that's why one of the main inventor of digital media is Microsoft. What is his name? No. The Microsoft's owner. Anyway, he has not given a smartphone to his children when they were not 16 years of age. But we cannot control our children. So this is a big challenge for us. So what to do today? I would suggest some things for the Asian state. We shall invest in research and innovation on a priority basis. We should invest in human resource development to produce skilled manpower. In adopting digital technologies in production, distribution, and management, we should consider the need of the people. Technologies should be utilized for human emancipation, not to dominate the people. And we should adopt surveillance technologies by protecting the privacy of the citizens and privacy of the state. We shall be committed to protect human rights and freedom of expression in the context of digital media. The Asian states need to collaborate to deal with transboundary cybercrime and cyber terrorism, because this is a scenario today all over the world. And finally, what I would say, because of the digital technology and the new media, there are many challenges. Sometimes, fake news, false news, vague news creates a lot of problem for the society and of the individual state and the countries. So we need to deal with all these challenges. So how to deal with all these challenges? We need to have the collaboration among our states, especially Asian states. And when the West is in the driving seat and we are at the receiving end, what to do in this context, we need to think about that. So thank you very much. Indeed, I had last night no sleep. I have come directly from the airport. No sleep at all. Because I started my journey from Bangladesh at 2 o'clock at night, was in Thailand, from there within 1 hour here, and directly from the meeting. So thank you very much anyway, and I want to register my thanks again to the government of Cambodia and Prime Minister of Cambodia. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency Mohammed Hassan, for your presentation. Because of the time constraint, so I would like to invite His Excellency Samsako to give the presentation, please. We remind that you can use your headset with channel 1 and or channel 5.
존경하는 캄보디아 케오 카나리스 장관님, 그리고 AIBD 파야즈 세라 회장님, 그리고 방글라데시, 미얀마, 필리핀, 사모아의 수인 장관님, 차관님을 비롯한 각국 대표단 여러분, 반갑습니다. 대한민국에서 온 대한민국 방송통신위원회 상임위원 고삼석입니다. 지난해 AMS에서 한국의 새 정부, 문재인 정부의 미디어 정책에 대해서 지난해 발표한 데 이어서 금년에도 이렇게 한국의 대한민국의 디지털 혁명 시대 미디어 정책에 대해서 연설하게 된 것에 대해서 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다. 오늘은 한국의 미디어 혁명 관련 케이스를 여러분들과 함께 공유를 하고자 합니다. 지난 20여 년간 한국의 방송통신 산업에 대해서 간략히 설명을 드리겠습니다. 이거 좀 체인지 좀. 네. 이동 좀 옮겨주시겠어요? 페이지 다음. 네, 제가 하겠습니다. 네, 표 보시는 바와 같이 지난 20년 동안 한국의 방송통신 산업은 크게 발전을 했습니다. 지상파 방송을 보게 되면 2012년 아날로그 방송을 종료하고 완전한 디지털 전환이 이루어졌습니다. 지난 2017년에는 지상파 UHD 방송을 세계 최초로 실시를 했습니다. 통신 부분에서는 2G, 2세대 CDMA, 3세대 WCDMA, 4세대 LTE를 한 데 이어서 금년 4월 세계 최초로 5G 상용화를 이루었습니다. 이처럼 지난 20년 동안 대한민국 분야에서 세계 선두국가로서의 역할을 해오고 있습니다. 한국은 5G에 대해서 잠깐 설명을 드리겠습니다. 한국은 지난해 평창 동계올림픽에서 5G 시범 서비스를 실시하였습니다. 작년 12월에 기업들 대상으로 하는 B2B 서비스를 시작한 데 이어서 금년 4월에는 세계 최초로 이용자 기반의 디바이스 기반의 B2C 서비스를 최초로 실시를 하였습니다. 현재 한국 내 5G 서비스 가입자 수는 5월 기준 약 70만 명이고 6월 중 100만 명을 넘어설 것으로 예상을 하고 있습니다. 제가 작동을 하겠습니다. 네, PPT 제가 작동할게요. Sorry. 네. 5G에 대해서는 5가지 정도 개념으로 설명을 드릴 수 있을 것 같습니다. Sorry. 네. 자, 세계 경제 포럼과 OECD 등 세계 유력 기관들은 5G가 자동차, 의료, 유통뿐만 아니라 미디어 등 전 산업 분야에 영향을 미치고 궁극적으로 경제, 사회 구조에도 영향을 미쳐서 우리의 미래를 혁명적으로 변화시킬 거다. 이렇게 지금 예상을 하고 있습니다. 5G의 특성은 5가지로 요약을 해볼 수 있겠습니다. 저는 이것을 초현상이다 이렇게 지금 정리를 했습니다. 먼저 초연결입니다. IoT 등 사람과 사물 이 모든 관계를 연결을 해주게 됩니다. 두 번째 초융합입니다. 산업 전 분야에 걸쳐서 융복합이 일어나서 산업 간의 경계가 소멸을 할 것입니다. 세 번째 초지능입니다. 모든 것에 지능을 심어서 빅데이터 기반의 AI를 구현할 것입니다. 세 번째 초현실입니다. AR, VR 등의 기술을 통해서 현실보다 더 실감나는 그러한 현실을 제공하게 될 것입니다. 마지막으로 초격차입니다. 인터넷 경제에서 승자 독식이 심화될 것입니다. 5G 혁명에 참여한 개인, 기업, 국가와 그렇지 못한 개인, 기업, 국가 간의 격차는 더욱더 커질 것으로 생각합니다. 이제 우리 앞에 이러한 근본적인 그리고 완전히 새로운 미래가 지금 펼쳐지고 있습니다. 이 그림을 보시면 아시겠지만 디지털 혁명과 함께 최근 글로벌 미디어 환경이 급격히 변화하고 있습니다. 방송통신 미디어 기업 간 합병과 전략적 교류가 일어나고 있습니다. 또한 유튜브, 넷플릭스 등 글로벌 OTT가 막대한 자본력을 동원해서 해외 진출을 하고 있고 페이스북, 아마존, 구글 등 글로벌 기업은 온라인 광고, 콘텐츠 시장에서 영향력을 강화해 가고 있습니다. 특히 넷플릭스와 유튜브의 성장세는 전통적인 미디어를 이어가고 있습니다. 넷플릭스는 매년 약 30%씩 꾸준한 성장을 기록하고 있습니다. 유튜브의 월간 이용자 수는 15억 명, 매일 50억 건의 시청이 이루어지고 있습니다. 반면에 전통 미디어의 그 약화가 있습니다. TV, 신문 등 전통 미디어가 광고 시장에서 차지하는 비중은 꾸준히 감소하고 있습니다. 이러한 현상은 한국과 미국뿐만 아니라 전 세계적으로 지금 현재 공통적으로 나타나고 있는 현상입니다. 콘텐츠 소비에 있어서도 큰 변화가 일어나고 있습니다. 이용자들의 미디어 이용 행태가 지금 변화하고 있습니다. 특히 젊은 층일수록 인터넷과 모바일을 선호하면서 콘텐츠 시장이 실시간에서 비실시간으로 이제 이동을 하고 있습니다. 이러한 현상은 콘텐츠 소비에 있으며 디지털 혁명의 시대에 이용자는 전통적 미디어를 이용하는 대신에 인터넷 기반의 새로운 미디어를 이용하는 현상들이 더욱 늘어날 것으로 그렇게 예상이 됩니다. 대한민국의 이제 그 정책과 전략에 대해서 설명하겠습니다. 이처럼 변화무쌍한 디지털 혁명의 시대에 대응하기 위해서 대한민국은 크게 세 가지 정도의 정책과 전략을 추진하고 있습니다. 첫째, 한류 콘텐츠를 지속적으로 확산하고, 둘째, 한국형 콘텐츠 유통 플랫폼을 구축하며, 셋째, 5G 선도국가로서의 위상을 확립해 나가고 있습니다. 여러분들 잘 아시겠지만 먼저 한류 콘텐츠는 최근 글로벌 시장에서 각광을 받고 있습니다. 한국의 아이돌 그룹인 BTS는 이달 초에 영국 웸블리 구장에서 6만여 명의 관중이 지켜보는 가운데 콘서트를 개최했습니다. 이 콘서트는 한국의 인터넷 기업인 네이버의 V 라이브 플러스를 통해서 전 세계 이용자들에게 실시간으로 방송이 됐습니다. 뿐만 아니라 한국의 봉준호 감독이 만든 영화 기생충은 올해 칸 영화제에서 대상을 차지하는 등 한국의 영화, 음악의 콘텐츠가 글로벌 시장에서도 경쟁력이 확인이 되었습니다. 앞서 말씀드린 대로 한국은 한류 콘텐츠의 힘을 바탕으로 세계의 K-팝, 드라마, 게임, 음식 등 한류 콘텐츠의 글로벌 진출을 지속적으로 추진하고 있습니다. 아울러서 한국의 콘텐츠 유통 플랫폼입니다. 정부는 CJ와 더불어서 K콘이라는 K컬처 페스티벌을 2012년부터 매년 개최해오고 있습니다. 이것은 단순한 K-팝 공연이 아니라 문화 콘텐츠와 IT, 패션, 뷰티 등 한류의 모든 것을 테마로 해서 전시와 콘서트를 결합한 문화 플랫폼으로서의 역할을 강화해 가고 있습니다. 또한 한 가지 이제 설명드리고 싶은 것은 최근 한국의 통신기업인 SKT는 지상파 방송사와 연합하여서 이제 OTT 서비스를 금년 7월에 제공할 예정입니다. 이것은 한국형 넷플릭스다 이렇게 보셔도 될 것 같습니다. 이러한 한국형 넷플릭스는 아시아의 모든 국가에 서비스하는 것을 지금 목표로 하고 있습니다. 네. 한국의 5G 플러스 전략은 앞서 설명드렸기 때문에 간단히 말씀드리겠습니다. 세계 최초 5G를 서비스했습니다마는 앞으로 대한민국은 세계 최고 5G 국가가 되기 위해서 노력을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 얼마 전에 5G를 선도하기 위한 10대 핵심 산업과 5개 핵심 서비스를 근간으로 하는 5G 플러스 전략을 발표한 바가 있습니다. 이 표에 보시는 바와 같이 5G에서 콘텐츠는 이제 실감 미디어, 실감 커뮤니케이션, 실감 라이프, 융합 인더스트리, 공공 서비스 이 5개 분야의 서비스와 산업 육성을 집중적으로 추진해 나갈 예정입니다. 이와 마찬가지로 지금 기업들도 SKT, KT, LG+ 등 한국의 이동통신사를 중심으로 그리고 KBS, MBC, SBS와 같은 지상파 방송을 중심으로 5G 환경에 적합한 콘텐츠를 서비스하기 위해서 노력을 하고 있습니다. 네, 이제 마무리를 하겠습니다. 5G가 만드는 디지털 혁명 시대는 장밋빛 미래만 있는 게 아닙니다. 디지털 혁명 시대에는 국가 간, 국내 이용자 간 정보 격차가 더욱 확대될 것입니다. 또한 의도된 AI 추천 알고리즘에 따라서 개인이 선호하는 콘텐츠와 서비스에만 반복적으로 노출되어 다양성이 결여되는 현상이 발생할 수도 있습니다. 앞서 여러 국가에서 오신 장관님께서 말씀하셨지만 디지털 성범죄, 가짜뉴스, 그리고 개인정보 유출, 사이버 테러 등도 어두운 미래의 한 단면이라고 할 수 있습니다. 이러한 문제를 해결하기 위해서는 기업들의 자율적인 노력도 중요하지만 정부 차원의 적극적인 대응이 필요하다 이렇게 생각합니다. 또한 아세안 국가 간, 국제기구 간 협력도 필수적인 것 같습니다. 한국 정부의 정책적 고민과 노력을 이 자리에 계신 아시아 태평양 각 지역의 정부 관계자분들 그리고 기관, 방송사들의 관계자분들께서도 함께 공유해 주실 것을 부탁드리겠습니다. 경청해 주셔서 감사합니다.
Okay, thank you very much, His Excellency Sansukop, for your comprehensive presentation and sharing with us the successful experience in Korea context. And next, I would like to invite His Excellency from Samal to give the presentation.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. There's a good thing about speaking last. All the other colleagues have said what I wanted to say. The time's running up, so I'll just be brief. Anyway, I would like to, first of all, thank the Honourable Minister, my colleague from Cambodia, Dr. Q, the Honourable Secretary General for AIP, staff, for inviting me to fly all the way 25 hours from the Pacific Islands, far, far away from here. But it is a privilege to be here. All the old essence of us to present at such gatherings and workshops is to find out where are we in the moving forward in information technology and where are we moving forward, whether what we are doing is correct and in line with the world so that we don't need to reinvent the wheel but to catch up. We in the Pacific face similar challenges, that is of our isolation from the world and from major markets, and also our size, the economies of scale is our problem. Hence our commitment to develop this new technology, to bring the world to our shores and also to take our countries to the world. Just a brief background of where I'm from. Samoa is the first Pacific island country to gain independence back in 1962. I am from the independent state of Samoa. We have two Samoas. The eastern side is an American territory. We now have a population of over 200,000, with more Samoans living overseas. We began our experience in technology in early 90s, only the radio broadcasting and one or two newspapers. And the establishment of our first television set broadcasting in 1998, set up by government. And recently we have a rapid growth of new television stations and also new broadcastings. We understand we have the only advantage we have as a Pacific Island country. We are very stable politically. We have the same ruling party governing our country for nearly 40 years now. And we understand we have the political will to commit into the development of IT. We know that IT and information technology and digital, whatever we have now, has influenced mankind beyond imagination and has impacted on our lives no matter where we are. So our government has invested heavily with the help of the World Bank and ADB, and we have now brought in, we now have a couple of marine cables into Samoa and also a national broadband system. But in our landscape, as you see on the slide, we have a large, diverse, dynamic media industry. We also have freedom of speech protected in our Constitution, and all of our regulatory bodies to make sure that the media is protected and also the individuals. As I've stated earlier, we have in 2017, we have our new cable with the help of the World Bank, connecting us to the world and linking us to other Pacific Island countries. We have another cable coming in from Tahiti that will be launched early next year. We also have in place a proper IT sector plan to make sure that all the technology we're using and also the media, it's moving forward as we want to. Of course, as mentioned earlier by many, that we have a lot of challenges. But we have to put in place legislation to combat this. I just want to share with you one thing, that right now in Samoa there is a court case. Our Prime Minister is taking an individual to court with some of the posting put on the social media, damage with a lot of character assassination and defamation against our Prime Minister. We have last year reactivated that criminal libel legislation that we abolished years ago because of the social media. So we are now taking steps to control, because Samoa and the Pacific Island countries are very small countries, small societies, and the impact on our societies is much more intense, much more damaging than in bigger societies. So it's very interesting to keep an eye on this court case. Of course, the media take it as a suppression of expression of freedom of expression. It's nothing against that. It's to make sure you take responsibility for what you put on the media. It's to be responsible for your actions, and that is what we are trying to do. And it's a challenge that I would like to organizations like AIPD and the other agencies to take a lead in working together to get a solution to this major challenge facing IT and the media. In the future, We are working on our digital transformation from analog. We will be launching a new digital television shortly. And I've also set up a new ministry called a Digital Transformation Agency, looking after to improve the services delivery to all the government agencies, and mainly in our outer areas with education and health and medical, all through online. That will really help improve the standard of living and the lives of our people. So, at last, I have spoken to our colleagues here. We would like to host a similar workshop in the Pacific for you to come and enjoy and experience yourself what our world, where we are from. We are the last existing paradise on earth. So before you go to heaven, please come and visit paradise, and certainly you will make it to heaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, for your brief presentation. Now, because of the time constraint, I would like to can get only one or two questions directly to our speakers. So now I would like to open the floor for our audience to pose some questions to our speaker, but we keep in mind that keep your question short and relevant to our topic. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning. My name is Enchai. I'm from the Ministry of Information of Cambodia. My question is very simple, and my question goes to His Excellency, the Minister from Bangladesh. Your Excellency has spoken of Bangladesh today compared to 10 years back. You spoke about digital Bangladesh. So my question is, you come to that day, does the government do it alone, or is there, I use my own term, is there any digital literacy among the public? That means, is there any cooperation, any contribution from the public sector or from the members of the public as a whole, in order to help your government, the government of Bangladesh, to achieve what you are today? This is my question. Thanks.
If I have understood properly, your question is whether there is contribution of the private sector to transform Bangladesh into digital Bangladesh. That was your question. Yes, there is participation of the private sector. Government has set some rules and regulations so that the private sector can contribute to transform Bangladesh into a digital Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, all the mobile phone operators are in the private sector. There is one in the public sector in the hand of the government, but the share of that public sector, I mean of the government, is less than 5%. And 95% people are using the network that is provided by the private sector. And Bangladesh government, immediate after the election in 2008, in 2009 we started the digital center all over the country in each union council level. That is the lowest tier of the rural government. So in each union, government set digital center. Government set the digital center, provided the facilities, but the digital center has been given to the private sector. So private persons are running the digital centers, and they're earning the money from there. And also in Bangladesh, to transform Bangladesh into digital Bangladesh, this is not only to transform Bangladesh into digital Bangladesh, this is not only the private sector also, we have set the policy. There is no, for example, no, duty for the import of computer and accessories and etc. And there is local production and there is incentive for the local production. So to provide the tools for the new media and for the new technologies, government has set some rules and regulation so that the private sector can come. And all the big companies are contributing, local companies and the foreign companies are contributing to transform Bangladesh into a digital Bangladesh. In Bangladesh now, for example, in the rural area, all the people, digital literacy, you said about the digital literacy. Yes, digital literacy is a big issue, I think, to transform a society into a digital society. Yes, by this time, over the last 10 years, the society is already literated, have come to know about the, society has got the skill to operate the digital technologies. Yes, that is true. Sometimes it happens, a person in Bangladesh, the literacy rate is about 75%, but less 25% don't have any literacy, but they can operate the digital, digital mobile phone and other things. So they have the digital literacy, but they don't have the literacy, but have the digital literacy. It is happening in Bangladesh today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the next question.
Yes, my name is Gordon. I'm the CEO of Deno. I have the question is that with the new technology development, traditional media, just facing more and more competition. So the question is that from the viewpoint of the government, how is that to help the traditional media to make the, the innovation to be much more strong to compete for that? Okay, so from the policy make, so what you are thinking, or maybe for the financial investment or whatever something, okay? Yeah, please.
Okay, because of the question for overall to our speaker, so I would like to invite who will take the question first, and please keep your answer shortly. About the government policy on traditional and new media.
네. 네, 저 한국의 사례를 잠깐 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 아마 한국은 이제 아시아뿐만 아니라 전 세계에서 그 미디어 환경이 가장 빨리 변하는 국가입니다. 그리고 이제 그 전 세계적인 현상입니다만은 방송과 통신 융합 환경에 따라서 지금 기존의 통신 사업자들이 방송 영역까지 들어오고 있습니다. 마찬가지로 한국은 지금 전통적인 그 지상파 방송과 케이블 방송 사업자들의 지금 이제 그 영향력들이 약화되고 있는 게 사실입니다. 그래서 지금 이제 통신 사업자들은 방송과 콘텐츠 사업 쪽으로 지금 투자를 많이 하고 있고, 이제 전통적인 방송 사업자들은 콘텐츠의 경쟁력을 높이기 위해서 지금 노력을 하고 있습니다. 특히 이제 그 기존의 케이블 방송과 통신사가 주도하고 있는 IPTV 간의 인수 합병을 지금 한국에서는 시장을 중심으로 활발하게 이루어지고 있습니다. 또한 그 최근에 이제 트렌드이죠. 모바일 환경에서 OTT 이용자들이 지금 급격히 지금 늘어나고 있습니다. 넷플릭스, 유튜브 등. 그래서 한국 같은 경우는 시장 내에서 이 통사들의 그 네트워크와 플랫폼의 파워, 그리고 지상파의 콘텐츠 파워가 결합되는 그러한 한국형 넷플릭스를 지금 현재 사업자들 중심으로 해가지고 현재 그 합병이 법인이 출범을 앞두고 있습니다. 아마 7월 정도에는 한국에서 대형 OTT 사업자가 등장을 할 것입니다. 이 OTT 사업자는 아시아 각국에 있는 콘텐츠 사업자, 통신 사업자들과 또 제휴해가지고 아시아 각국의 이용자들에게 콘텐츠 서비스를 할 예정입니다.
Okay, thank you very much. Because of the time limitation, I would like to say thank you again for His Excellency for to be our honorable speakers, and I would like also to thank for all participants who joined the session, and thank you very much for your attention, and I would like to wish you to success and have a nice day in Cambodia. Now we come to end. So.
So thank you very much, Excellency Ms. Sophorn and participating dignitaries. We are very much honored to have you in our country to listen to your vision regarding the future of the media in the upcoming fourth industrial revolution. As a token of gratitude, I would like to invite Mr. Fayaz Sehaya, President AIBD, to present the memento on behalf of the organizers. Please, Excellencies. So first to our Honorable Minister, Excellency Khieu Kanyarat, Minister of Information of the Kingdom of Cambodia. Second to Excellency Martin Andana, Honorable Secretary, Presidential Communication Operation Office. Third to Dr. U Prem Yin, Union Minister for Information, Republic of the Union of Myanmar. Fourth to Dr. Sam Songko, Standing Commissioner, Korean Communication Commission, Republic of Korea. Fourth to His Excellency Lelai Lepul Rimon Ifi, Vice Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Independent State of Samoa. And the last one is His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Hussain Mahmud, Minister of Information from Bangladesh. So, another one group photo.